A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Mark. Jesus and his disciples left from there and began a journey through Galilee, but he did not wish anyone to know about it. He was teaching his disciples and telling them, "The Son of Man is to be handed over to men, and they will kill him. And 3 days after his death, the Son of Man will rise." But they did not understand the saying, and they were afraid to question him. They came to Capernaum, and once inside the house, he began to ask them, "What were you arguing about on the way?" But they remained silent. They had been discussing among themselves on the way who was the greatest. Then he sat down, called the 12, and said to them, "If anyone wishes to be first, he shall be the last of all and the servant of all." Taking a child, he placed it in their midst and put his arm around it. He said to them, "Whoever receives this child, such as this, in my name, receives me. And whoever receives me, receives not me, but the one who sent me." The Gospel of the Lord. Every time that I proclaim this Gospel, it comes to my mind one day that we were preparing for a procession at the very solemn Mass on a Sunday. And then I overheard a conversation between some altar servers. The one who had a candle says, "I am the most important because I have a candle. And the fire is important, so I am the most important." And then the kid who had the incense says, no, I am the most important because I have the smoke, the censer." And then the one who had the cross, "No, I am the most important because I have the cross of Jesus." And then I said to them, "Well, let me tell you that I am the most important because I am the priest." So we were laughing. And then I told them, "You know what? The same thing happens one day when the disciples were arguing and talking among themselves who was the greatest, who was the most important. Among us, the followers of Jesus Christ, we need to recognize that Jesus is the most important for ourselves and for everybody else. It's very important for many reasons, but one of them is when Jesus was born, the whole history of humanity was divided between before Christ and after Christ. Well, but not only that is the reason. There are so many. But the most important is God himself came and became one like us in everything but sin because he loves us so much. And he wants us to teach us something. He wants to tell us that the most important person is the one who is necessary. Wherever you are, at home or in your work environment or wherever you are, if someday you take a couple of days vacation or you are not in your work environment or at home and people need you and people feel the need, and people know that you are not around, that's a good sign. That is a sign that you are important because people miss you. People miss you. Well, this is one of the things. But Christians are supposed to be the image of Christ and help one another by using different techniques or different ways to make Jesus present and give good example to people. We need also once in a while to give some lessons because there are many of us who need lessons as well. Now, in the Gospel, we found 3 different things. The first one, in the beginning of the Gospel, Jesus was telling them about his own death. He was telling them they are going to give me a hard time. They are going to put me in prison. They are going to kill me. But don't worry, because I am going to raise up. This was something that they were concerned, and the disciples didn't question anything because they didn't understand it. And they didn't know what he was talking about when he was telling them what was going to happen to him. And then later they said, well, who is the greatest? Who is the most important? I'm sure that Peter would have said that, because I am the head of the apostles, and all these guys, because St. James, because probably I am the one who will want to walk more, and he was one who went even to Spain, to the end of the world, to preach the gospel. He probably was full of energy. So all of the apostles have some reasons to say that they were the most important. And then we see Jesus. If you want to be important, just be the servants of others. That means help them, be with them, do something concrete for them, and then in this way you are going to give them good example. And that is something that everybody needs, especially in our world today. And then Jesus says, well, you know what? If anyone receives a child like this one, is receiving me. And when Jesus talks about the children, you remember in another part of the gospel that Jesus said to the crowd, you need to be like children. If you want to go to heaven, you need to be like children. When I have the opportunity to preach or to talk with children, I ask them, very often I ask them, why do you think that Jesus is putting you as role models? Jesus is not telling to the children, you have to be like the grown-ups. No, he's telling the grown-ups, you have to be like children. One day, one of the children answered this question, says, because we are carefree. Probably this is one of the reasons. Children do not have to be concerned about what they are going to eat, where they are going to sleep, where they are going to stay, because they know that God has given them parents or guardians who take care of them. So one of the teachers answered, I think Jesus is telling us that we have to be like children because children are dependent of the parents. And there's a lot of truth about this because it's true. Children are dependent of the parents, and we depend on God. That's something beautiful. And this is something that we need to be alert. Now, Jesus is the most important, and our role is to believe in Jesus and to make Jesus present in people's lives, because this is something that we need to do desperately in our world today, when there are so many things and so many people are suffering for different reasons. And today more than ever we need to give them hope. We need to tell them that we are Christians, we are following Jesus Christ, we are following Jesus' teachings. And this is very, very important, because everything related to Jesus is about happiness. And Jesus is the one who wants us to be happy. Very often I say to people, Jesus wants you to be happy, holy, and healthy. Happy, holy, and healthy. This is something that we need to do, because our world today is full of anxiety, full of depression. There are so many people who suffer depression, so many people suffer anxiety, so many people are sick, but there are only few people who are healthy, and there are few people who are happy. And these are the people who attract others, because we wonder why this person is acting in this way, why this person is very happy in spite of all the problems around us. Well, that is the key, because if we believe in Jesus Christ, if we really, really are followers of Jesus Christ, we are supposed to be happy, and we are supposed to be good examples to one another. And in that way, we can say that we are important. All of us are important, because no matter what are we doing, we are very important in the church, the altar servers, who are the angels of the altar and help the priest at the altar, they are doing something wonderful. They are important. The choir, the singers, and the priest is the one who has given his life to Christ. And the priest is other Christ. Every single time that a priest performs a sacrament, is acting in the person of Christ. That makes the priest very important in the liturgy. But it's also important the person who makes the collection, the ushers, the readers, the people who come. All of us are important. But just think about one day that you take a day off from your work environment or from your home, and sometimes people miss you, but sometimes not. If people do not miss you, there is something wrong. But when people miss us, it's a sign that we are doing something that people need us, people who are happy when we are around them. This is something. So today, as we remember that Jesus is the most important, but also every single good thing. See what I said? Have you listened what I said? Every single thing that we do or say are important. Every single thing that we do is important. And hopefully God can continue giving us some inspiration to do a better job being the helpers to one another. Because if we believe this and we do this, if we believe this and if we do this, then we are going to be able to help others. I hope the mother can help the children can help the mother, the father can help the mother, and the mother can help the father. And this is a Christian community. The ones who love, the ones who are concerned, the ones who try to do good things for one another. So remember, that is one of the things that is going to make us most important, useful, necessary to one another. May God bless you.